Good morning, and welcome to the church of all due respect. My name is Elan, and today is October the 16th, 2025. I make music, and I make music to breathe to. And this breathing music, to me, seems like a genre that is not very popular, and I really have not heard of any other artist that's composing music specifically to breathe along to. So I've been making some songs, and I've released two of them on this channel so far. The first one is Bim Bam, and that's the final song on our debut album, Mission, from the Church of All Due Respect. That's posted on this channel. It's also posted on, wherever you get your music. It's all published out there. So feel free. The whole album is pretty cool. Put a lot of work into it, and it's a lot of fun. But I think you'll particularly enjoy Bim Bam if you're into this breathing music. The most previous video that I've released is called Breathe 4, and that song is very much extended compared to Bim Bam. Breathe 4 goes on for about 15 minutes, and it's quite an intense breathing exercise. But I always get this impulse after doing these exercises that this might be something valuable to share. And even if it only impacts one person, and only one of you gets something beneficial out of this, then that'll be worth sharing it, in my opinion, because it's made quite a big difference in my own life. How, you might ask? Well, you know that feeling when you're going through your day and maybe you've been at work for a while and you take a deep breath to sort of re-energize and maybe regulate your nervous system a little bit and try to get back into a positive state of mind? I find that after doing these breathing exercises, every breath that you take later on in the day is much, much more effective at that regulating effect that your breath can have. So that's one big reason why I enjoy doing it. Another reason is that I've recently been doing much more running in my day-to-day life, and I've been really enjoying this as a warm-up. It seems to open up the lungs, and it seems to warm up the cardiovascular system in a way that gets you completely prepared to do some running after. So that's what I'm going to do today, actually. I'm going to do a breathing exercise to breathe 4, and then I'm going to go for a run, and I'm going to see how I feel with that. I guess the last big effect from it, amongst other effects, but the last one that comes to mind is the mental journey that I tend to go through when doing these breathing exercises. Now, if you've watched any of my previous tutorials about it, you may have noticed that the breathing is quite intense. I'm trying to breathe full lungs, completely in and completely out as best as I can. And when I'm breathing, I tend to breathe with the nose, and I avoid breathing through the mouth. Now, I invite you to experiment with these different effects, as I have myself, and I found that breathing through the mouth can be much more intense feeling, and those sort of mental walls that pop up during the exercise that's telling you to stop, or sort of getting an anxiety effect in the body during these exercises. I find breathing through the mouth can really make that more strong. And I find that breathing through the nose is much more calming to the nervous system for myself. Now, that being said, it's good to experiment, in my opinion, with your breath and to really explore what the different effects are. I remember a couple of years ago when I was doing these exercises, I would go out into my backyard, and I remember this was during February, and it was actually just snowing just slightly at the time. It was probably around 0 degrees outside. But I started doing these breathing exercises, and at that time, I was breathing through the mouth and breathing quite intensely. And you'll notice some things when this happens. For most people, I believe, if you breathe really heavily through the mouth, you will bring on a lot of body heat very quickly. So you can imagine if you are out in the cold like that, it's a way that you can really warm up quite effectively, at least for a short period of time. I wouldn't recommend it as a survival tactic. I have not explored that at all myself. But you do hear stories of monks and different practitioners of these exercises going outside and being able to stay warm even in very cold temperature. And that's something that I have experienced myself firsthand. It's quite effective at getting the body very hot. I remember during that February when I was doing that exercise, I would be literally sweating profusely and feeling very, very warm, even in 0 degrees Celsius. So those are a couple of the reasons why I've enjoyed doing these videos and doing this breathing exercise. And I hope that you can have some fun doing these exercises along with me. Or maybe you want to just listen to the music only and breathe at your own pace or without, the sound of me breathing along with you. But I invite you to use my songs. I hope you enjoy them. And I put a lot of work into them in a very conscientious way so that it's functioning specifically for this breathing. And I hope this is going to sort of be a new genre of music that people can explore, and people can go on these mental journeys and experiences within their own mind through these breathing exercises. And the nice thing about it is that it's completely natural. You're not introducing any exogenous chemicals into your body. It's all just using your own nervous system and your own cardiovascular system to do these effects. So I will be starting a breathing exercise in my next video. I'm just going to jump right into it. And it's going to be pretty similar to the video that I posted before with Breathe 4. And this is going to be in preparation to go for a run. So after I do my breathing exercise, I will be hitting the streets and going for a little bit of a run there, just to see how everything feels and to keep my energy up for the day. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for joining me. My name has been Elan, and still is Elan. But have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Bye.